And welcome back to another BobBlast. Hi, I'm Bob Burridge, and this BobBlast is all about tools of the trade, part one. All right, the thing is, what are the tools that we use? I'm always asked these questions, right? So this is what I use. Let's start off with paper. The things you see behind me were all done on paper. Some of them are oil on paper, some are charcoal, some are acrylics, and some are watercolor. I love paper. Why do I like paper? Well, first of all, I was trained on paper in grade school, right? All the way through college, right? But I love paper. The other thing is that it comes in different surfaces. Soft, smooth, hard, that kind of a surface. Your choice. Also, it's a beautiful color of white, different kinds of white. Lots of choices. And the best part is watercolor paper has two good front sides. One side didn't work out, you got the other side. Pretty nice, huh? Two for the price of one. So all these pieces back here were done on paper, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite papers. These are my favorite watercolor papers, okay? Watercolor paper, 22 by 30 inches. Same on both sides. It comes in cold press or hot press. HP, hot press, cold press, CP, all right? And it just means a smoother surface. Hot press, think of the iron, the steam, iron, makes it nice and smooth. Hot press is smooth. Cold press, you can't get the wrinkles out of it with an iron. And so cold press has a little bit of a texture. Very nice. They're two different surfaces. They work differently, and you should try them both, okay? Comes in two different weights. You have 140 and 300 pound. Don't look at the grams, because that can be confusing sometimes. So make sure you see 140 pounds and 300 pound. This happens to be 300 pound. It's pretty stiff. Look how stiff it is, right? 140 works just as well. It might be a little floppy. It'll eventually flatten out. So don't worry about it. Your paper's curling. They will eventually flatten out. Okay, that's the paper. The pads. Let me show you some of the pads over here. Well, here's one right here. It's the Bristol Strathmore, made by Strathmore. This is a nice size 11 by 14 paper pad. It comes out very easily. Look how nice that is, right? And it's stiff enough. It takes all kinds of paper and paints and end glues and things like that. So it's pretty good stuff. I like it. Made by Bristol, made by Strathmore. So that's that. Then we have these pads, Fabriano, another wonderful paper company. They've been making them, these papers for many, many years. Good enough for Michelangelo, it's good enough for me. So this is Fabriano, and this one happens to be a watercolor pad. Very convenient, and especially if you're traveling. This is called a studio pad. It comes in different thicknesses also. Very beautiful. Conveniently already done. And then this is the other one. This is 100% pure cotton Fabriano. Another small pad, 100% cotton Artistico. About the best of the best of the best. It's 100% cotton. What do you expect? So these are very convenient. Also, why, look, there's a drawing. Maybe I should get started on one. All right. Can't wait to get started on this one. So a little bit of water, a little bit of acrylics. And you can just see it can work with it while it's still in the pad. Turn around this way here too. Then we get a little bit of this over here. We have light coming around here. Beautiful. Acts just like a watercolor. If you water this way, way down, right? Very convenient. Boy, it's such quality paper. You could buy less expensive papers, and the results will show that you've used pretty bad paper. So you deserve good paper. So the papers I've just announced, highly recommend. And sitting on the shadow, that kind of thing. Let's get a little bit of this in here. And quick. All right. Now that's just this paper. Do you know it comes in different tones? Different tones paper, and they're beautiful. Go look at a catalog, like a Cheap Joe catalog. It has all the different kinds of papers and the colors. Let me show you how I like to work on one of the toned gray papers. Now, I mentioned about toned papers. Well, I love the gray toned paper. Why do I like the gray toned paper? It's because instead of white paper, when I work with my charcoals especially, I'm halfway done. My midtone's already done. It's the color of the paper. All I have to do is add my darkest dark and my lightest light, and I can go home. So BFK Reeves tone drawing paper is spectacular. And it takes a light wash also if you want to do a watercolor or light watered down acrylic painting. Here's my other one that I like so much, Strathmore toned gray. Mixed media. Again, this particular surface is really smooth, it's beautiful. But again, it has a beautiful tooth to it. Look at that. Wow. Beautiful. Oh my God, look how rich that is. And this is the white. So you see I have 3 different values here. That's all I really need when I want to draw something, right? Just lights. I'm just screwing around right now. I'm just letting you see how beautiful this paper is. And see, it stays flat. That's really what I want to show you. As much as I'm beating it up, look, it still stays flat. So the less expensive papers will curl a little bit and start fighting you a little bit. Not fun. Alrighty. Now that's with the dry, with the pastel. Let me do something with on regular paper with an acrylic painting. And so I've heard so many artists say they have a secret weapon. And so I guess this is my secret weapon, which is basically a Kilimanjaro paper, watercolor paper from Cheap Joe's catalog. Kilimanjaro, the same as Fabriano, as good as Fabriano, but a whole lot less expensive. So here it is, 300 pound. Happens to have a little bit of a texture, so that means it's a cold press. And it does take a beating, I'm telling you, it's amazing. I can't find anything wrong with this paper. It takes a beating. It's about the best paper. Compare with any of your best papers. And you'll see, look, it stays flat. I don't know what his secret is. Look at it, beautiful. Take some red in here. This is what I like to do sometimes when I'm not really inspired to do something in the studio. I have a project. I'll just come down here and play like this. Most important part about a painting is, number 1, show up. You got to show up. Look how beautiful it holds. This is has not been gessoed. The surface is just raw. Right out of the package. Look how it holds the colors in there. I could do this all day long. It's a great way to loosen up, by the way. Real good watercolor paper. There's all kinds of watercolor papers out there, right? But these are the ones that work for me. Kilimanjaro from Cheap Joe. That's my watercolor paper. It makes me just want to play like this all the time. Well, that's about enough for me about papers for now. I hope you've enjoyed this. I certainly always enjoy this anytime I'm in the studio. And this is just number 1 of a series that I'm going to be doing of tools of the trade. This one was on paper, and I can't wait to see you on part 2 of Tools of the Trade on the next BobBlast. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful for you. Pass it on to your friends.